Hey, it's Toni Seville with Square Footage. Who is Toni Seville? Well, I come from a radio, television background long before I decided to start a home staging business. My real name is Toni McCastle. McCastle is my maiden name. I'm married now. So my last name is McCastle Freeman, Toni McCastle Freeman. All right. So if you ever hear Toni McCastle Freeman, that's the same girl as Toni Seville. Toni Seville is a radio name that I adopted in 1999. I believe it was 98 or 99. I was coming out of 5 years of television here locally in Arkansas as a promotions producer. I don't know, promotions, marketing, all that has just always been my thing. I think it's because I'm a creative. But anyway, so going to radio 98, 99. I literally had about a week or two from my program director to come up with a name. And I didn't want to veer too far away from my real name. I wanted to keep the Toni, that's who I am. And a dear friend of mine and my sorority sister came up with the name Seville, last name Seville. She was riding behind, she told me she was stopped at a stoplight and she was behind a Cadillac Seville. She said, it's classy, it's short. It's the short version of a Cadillac. I'm vertically challenged. I'm only 5'2". And so it's short, it's classy, it's luxe. And she's like, I think it's you. So I called him up and I was like, Toni Seville, what do you think of that? And he was like, all right, let's roll with it. We don't have time. So Toni Seville it was. She was born. She was birthed in 1999. I'm very, very comfortable talking. I'm very comfortable talking to myself. I guess it's what you call it. Seriously. When you're in radio, you're in a room by yourself most times. Unless you are fortunate enough, as I was, to have a morning show crew. And but yeah, I started off by myself, talking to myself, kind of like I am now, imagining you and what you may want to know. So moving past that, all right. So Toni Seville, 99, Central Arkansas Radio. Before that, Toni McCastle, Central Arkansas Television. Okay. So we got that. Well, let's fast forward a little bit. 2020, I think it was 2020, somewhere around COVID, we purchased a home. And in purchasing the home, we would watch HGTV like every single night. That's how we went to bed, was to HGTV. And I'm going to make this long story really short. I saw a price tag from Property Brothers and their budget to do a reno. And it said staging XYZ amount. And I was like, well, what are they talking about with staging, right? So I looked it up. What's staging? Because what I thought I saw them doing when they would show that price tag, it looked like interior design to me. So I did the research. I realized it's kind of like the first cousin to interior design. Some interior designers may call it the little sister, whatever. They're pretty much related. You're making rooms, interiors come to life, okay? But for staging, it is specifically for the purpose of selling a property, be it commercial or residential. So it's only going to be there for a short amount of time, and then it's back to wherever, the warehouse or wherever. As opposed to interior design, that is specific to a personal preference that's going to live in that space with that person. Got it? Got it. So anyway, I did the research. I was like, oh my goodness, this looks really, really cool. It's like a part-time something or other. Well, One thing about me, and I got it from my mom, is an eye for design. Um, my mother, when I was a teenager, I hated it. Now I'm not too mad at it. But my mom would like wake me up random Saturdays and want to rearrange things in the house. Hey, come help me move the sofa. I'm like, go get dad to do it. He's asleep. Wake him up. But I'm kind of glad because I accidentally stumbled upon a design eye. So in college, I was always the girl with like the plushed out apartment. Not bragging. Any of my college friends can tell you. They would come over and be like, wow, Um, and I didn't even see it as a skill set. I just thought, gonna save up my money for, nice items. One of the nicest and first luxury items that I bought this horse head from a boutique in Little Rock. Back in the day, it was named Plush. And that was kind of the start of it. I didn't care about filling up my apartment. I just wanted it to look like a showroom. Um, so anyway, now we fast forward back to 2020, and I talked to my husband. I was like, listen, this whole staging thing, I think I'd like to do that. He was like, oh, okay. Well, as we were moving into our new home, he was pretty adamant about getting new furniture and not using the furniture that we had. And I thought, I'll start staging with that furniture because it was timeless, um, luxurious. So I put that in storage and I started researching the market for Central Arkansas to see, like, okay, you know, who's staging around here? I saw two or three businesses that looked rather professional in Northwest Arkansas, but research kept dead ending me in Central Arkansas. The business was closed or you could never get anyone. And I thought, why not? But as not to step on anyone's toes, I thought I will market strictly to Southern and Southeast Arkansas. So I went to a friend of mine that flips homes and I told him, hey, dude, I want to use one of your homes to stage. I need some photos to show my work. And like you don't lose anything in the deal. You don't have to pay for it. Just let me stage. He was like, okay, I don't care. So I staged a property in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And oh, y'all, in hindsight, it was trash. I'm serious. Well, now that I know what I know, it got the job done though. Let's be clear. There were two showings the day it hit the market. The second person to show up bought the home and asked to buy all of my inventory that was in the home. Now, let me go from the part that it was trash and tell you that as much as I wanted to do it after that, because it's kind of like I got that rush from practicing in his home. And I was like, yeah, I like it. I want to do it. I was embarrassed. Yep. I had been for years. Again, I'm not a vain person. I'm just speaking facts. I have been a local celeb, especially in the urban market for Central Arkansas. And, here I am at all the parties, all the clubs, on stage at all the concerts, rubbing elbows with, the Steve Harveys, the New Editions, you name it. right? And now I'm decorating homes. That didn't feel right. It didn't feel good. It felt like a demotion. Um, so I was trying for a little while to just kind of do it underground, um, as a hidden talent. So now we're talking about like the fall of 2021. I mean, like November 2022 is about to come in. So it's like November, September, November, somewhere in there of 2021. I did the home for Lloyd, and it was a hit. It did what it was supposed to do. But I couldn't wrap my mind around going public with it, hitting social media with this thing, this idea, this labor intensive situation. I was embarrassed and I thought people are going to look down on me. I thought, I can't believe I'm sharing this. I thought that I would be viewed as less than what I had already set up as my brand. And I struggled to even put it out there. But then I thought, well, if you don't share it, how are you going to ever get any business? And I thought, I don't care. I'll do a house or two here or there, you know. Um, I think I got more pleasure from people liking it, going in and liking it, and then it actually working in the home, getting multiple offers than anything else. So I was like, oh my goodness, so I started telling people, hey, I'm staging. I'm going to try to start staging. I'm going to do a little staging. Uh, and I thought, don't cheat yourself. Like, go ahead and talk about it. And then I thought, well, do I keep Toni Seville? Because it's a brand. She's somebody to people. Some people know her. Some people want to know her. Some people feel they know her. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep it. Yeah. I created Toni Seville, and so I started Show and Sell Home Staging by Toni Seville. And I went ahead and I like teased it with some pictures on Facebook. Y'all, when I tell you, like, I can feel the nervous energy that I felt just jumping out there on this new venture. But one thing about me, I've been competitive all my life. From a high school cheerleader, um, a track runner, first leg 400 relay, just to be exact, and the 200. Hated it. Hated the 200. Anyway, get back on track. Um, like I just refuse to lose. Losing just isn't in my nature. Um, and that was part of why I was also hesitant to share that I wanted to start doing home staging because I didn't want to be defeated in the field. I already started to recognize a lot of people didn't know what it was. They were like me. They thought it was interior design, or they didn't even know it existed as a marketing tool for real estate. So I thought, wow, I have my work cut out for me because now I got to educate the masses. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not going to fail. And I knew once I click and I put it out there, I got to win. I got to win. Um, the thought of losing was another embarrassment that I was struggling with mentally. So I was like, no, if I put this out here, I got to go get it. So I did. I shared on Facebook some photos. Friends were oohing and ahhing. And it started to feel really good. But then I realized I didn't have what I needed to have a staging business. I had a few pieces that we weren't bringing to this house. And I'm like, oh, geez, I got some stuff. Well, do I buy it or do I rent it? Y'all, listen, I didn't know. Do you buy? Do you rent? Garage sale, marketplace? What? As I did a little more research, so go with me now. We're starting to move into the year 2022. And I use that as a step back year to research and just kind of figure this thing out. And I ran up on the fact that home staging is a real industry all its own beneath the real estate umbrella. Really? Yeah. I'm talking multi-million dollar generating businesses, um, annual conferences, uh, memberships, like a thing. So at that point, that's when I was like, okay, let's see, what am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? What can I learn? What? So I signed up for a class. Shout out to Debbie and Julie. And they were offering an online class that would certify me. I was like, certification? What? Yeah. Yeah. And I found that there were many classes and like staging schools. As long as I didn't have to go back and get another 4-year degree, I was okay with the certification process. So I got certified, and in getting certified, I learned so much that I was doing wrong, but that I could easily course correct. I was operating out of two 10 by 10 U-Haul climate controlled storage units. Child, stuff was everywhere. Everywhere. I've seen some people operate like that and they have the nice shelves in there. Oh, like, no, that was a hot mess. And we were getting ready for this house, and my husband was like, hey, listen, we're not stepping over nothing else. Because, like, y'all, we were breaking things on accident or couldn't find stuff. So he was like, go find a place. Let's try to find a building. Online, actually on Marketplace, I saw a commercial space for lease, affordable price monthly. Went and looked at it, was not near enough room. But once I told the property manager what I needed it for, he was like, oh, we've got a unit right next door, 4,000 square feet. How much? The price was right. Signed on the dotted line. Let's go. So we moved everything out of the U-Haul into the new warehouse. So I was kind of getting somewhere, I was getting somewhere. And then I buckled down and I said, let's go ahead and get that next level learning. So I invested in master level home staging. And that's in person. And it was amazing. I met some great home stagers. But what I realized was there's a community out there. Like, I found my people. But the question that they asked was, are you going to be a staging hobbyist? Or are you going full throttle as a staging professional, a business owner? I was like, oh, well, I don't know. But once I really, locked in and listened, I realized like, no, I really want to do this. Like, I want to help the masses. I want to know the agents, help the sellers. I don't want a little bit of something here or there. Maybe it wins, maybe it doesn't. No, like I wanted to go big. So I decided to do the master level. So glad that I did. Learned so much. Got so much hands-on experience and brought it back here from, marketing to operations to systems to logistics. But that's when I realized, like, oh, this is a thing. Like, this is a real business that leaves a real impact and requires real work. So from there, once we got moved in, started making some purchases, buying inventory as I could here and there, and just promoting online the fact that, hey, I'm doing this. I started getting some calls. Friends started referring me to different agents. I started doing some lunch and learns, and I started to feel like I fit into the industry and I wasn't walking around any longer with the imposter syndrome. You know about that, right? You're like, I'll just learn as I go and I'll figure it out, and hopefully nobody will realize I don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah, well, that was me with that first house. I just went in and decorated. So did what I thought was cute. Y'all, I look back on those pictures and it is so embarrassing. But now it worked because it wasn't aesthetically unpleasing. Just knowing what I know now, it was trash. So after getting trained, after finding my tribe, I moved into desiring the luxury space. I was seeing all these beautiful new build homes going up and little to no marketing besides, nice photos, nice realtor videos, but nothing to make that new build look any different than that new build besides curb appeal or, a person's desire for that exterior. Maybe those finishes. That's about it. And I was just like, man, I really want to step into that luxury lane. I really think I have a lot to offer these builders and sellers and agents. And I did some things that I thought would help me connect with some builders. It didn't work. So I had to step back and just dig in spiritually and pray and just kind of let God know that I recognize that you dropped this vision on me. I didn't come up with this on my own. So, like, I need you to take my hand and guide me here. Guide me away from people that I shouldn't do business with and guide me towards people that I should do business with that will appreciate my value and appreciate how much I appreciate do and how much I want them to win. I'm telling you, it was like literally overnight. It's like God just switched things up. And I got my first luxury builder for Central Arkansas. Let me tell you something. So in Central Arkansas, in the Little Rock area, our luxury market starts at the 500,000 price point. And I was really aiming for the $1 million price point, like 800, 750 to 1.1 was what I wanted to be my sweet spot. And he just dropped it in my lap one day. And I give a lot of credit to at the time, my social media manager. I met her. I met her from a fellow class member for the master class. And she took my social media and made my social media pages look like a home staging page, not Toni Seville, the radio chick who's out here doing this. And that's kind of how it was at first. It was just like, what's Toni up to? As opposed to going to it and knowing like, oh, no, this is something serious. That my pages started to get attention. And from there, I was able to slowly veer into the luxury home staging lane. I cannot explain how that boosted my confidence as a home stager, boosted my confidence as a business owner. Now, I still don't get everything right in terms of entrepreneurship. I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to implement. But I'm here. And most importantly, I'm here to stay. I love home staging. I love learning more about buyer psychology. People hear me say that all the time. I love understanding what moves the buyer, what draws them emotionally. And then I love putting that together in the form of a design to install in a home. So as a result, y'all, I've had so much in my head that I've wanted to come and talk about, but I was nervous. I didn't want to look like I'm all over the place just trying something new. No, I have things I want to talk about. I want to talk about design trends. I want to talk about the agents in my market. I want to talk to the agents in this Central Arkansas market and, give them a platform to share some things, whether it's about their listings or just whatever. I want to talk to builders and understand how they do what they do. I want to spend time with lenders and inspectors and appraisers. I really, really, really want to share conversations with our local principal brokers. When I tell you they amaze me, I just think it is so cool that a person goes and gets their licenses and then they open a brokerage and they have what it takes to, start this team, get them going, motivate them, because you have to be motivational, but you also have to be a teacher. And so whatever is in between real and estate, I want us to talk about that square footage.